Alright, so welcome back. After releasing their follow-up album in 1986 titled Ruler of the Wasteland, like I said in that video, there would be some change. They would end up leaving Shrapnel Records, which I guess Mike Varney, even though after just said that they had a successful band at their hand, or really, that somehow not so successful, I guess, in his eyes, because what didn't do well. Again, it just shows you that Mike Varney at times is a very much an egotistical, money-grabbing type of person. But not enough with him. So, and I really don't care if he even watches this video, it even fucking complains, whatever, because yeah. So with that, of course, David T. Chastain will end up, making his own label. I don't know what the, whatever. He ends up making his own label titled Leviathan Records. And of course, in 1987, they would release their follow-up album to Rule of the Wasteland, which was released through Shrapnel, titled The Seventh of Never. But this album was also released through Black Dragon Records, and it had a different artwork than the one that was on Leviathan. But the artwork was very much kind of like a little creature or some sort out of the cover, whatever. It was a very blue background, whatever. But through Leviathan, it had a bit of like showing castle with almost like two guys almost fighting on the fucking thing, whatever. I think this is artwork, and I am correct. It's on my monitor up there, TV monitor, whatever. So with this album continues the sound that was showed on Rule of the Wasteland, but it progresses more with We Must Carry On, which is fucking great track. Paradise, another really good track on here. Forevermore as well, which ends the album, and kind of, I guess, similar to The Battle of Nevermore or so forth, or Angel of Mercy. It's definitely within there, but it's another really good track that ends it. There really isn't a bad song on here. There is an instrumental here titled 827, but it's just what you expect from a Chastain instrumental, I guess. Actually, I wouldn't say it's not a pure guitar masturbation track like Mad Axe Attack or fucking Metal Taco. But it is definitely more like a song just without vocals. But it's a very good track. It displays more of David T. Chastain's, fretwork, more of his muscle. Obviously, this guy was definitely more, kind of. He's like a less, wanker version of Yngwie Malmsteen. Because Yngwie Malmsteen can just go into fucking. That guy at times doesn't seem to know when to stop. But David T. Chastain has kind of a balance at times, even though there are these moments where he kind of shows up a bit too much, but he then stops when it starts to become a bit, when it starts to kind of overstay its welcome, like that, before it starts to. So, with that, this is definitely another solid album from Chastain and crew, especially Lova Leone, who definitely shows off more of her muscle, and definitely she is just a underrated singer, if you ask me, really, and she is at times kind of a very underrated Ronnie James Dio. A female Ronnie James Dio, excuse me on that, because she does have a very rasp to her voice. It's not like any of these fucking European power metal singers that we have nowadays, to where they all just are so operatic, where it's just like shut the fuck up at times, where it's like, and yet I don't know if I want to consider that metal, because it's too fluffy. Here, this isn't fluff. This is just as raw, and it has a very much a power to it. It's where it's definitely metal. She is no pop singer. She is a metal singer with a huge pipe. That's a pretty ridiculous way to put it, but she is very much a great singer. And she really just belts off a lot of great emotion on this album. And she deserves every bit of credit that I give her. So, after this, they'll definitely release another album. So, which I will talk about. So, with that, there is a reissue through Dive Bomb Records with that. So, if you have heard The Seventh of Never, what are your thoughts on this album? I might have forgot a few tracks, but those are the ones that just seem to pop in my mind. So, with that, if you have any thoughts, you can post your comments down below. This is Heavy Thresher saying I'm out. And it's time to talk about the next album. So, this is Heavy Thresher saying I'm out. And I'll see you shortly.